Thank you, Dr. Racine. Now you know the drill, team. Who has questions? Jump right up to the microphone. Rachel.
Thank you so much. That was fascinating. So you got me thinking when you talked about WIC participants pre-ordering foods, and I wondered if you've thought or know anything about, our kids' generation are ordering everything on Amazon Prime, including food for their households. Do you know has there ever been thought of working with one of these online grocers or vendors to have, a section of pre-approved WIC foods that could be delivered? Some of the cereal, the shelf-stable things.
Yeah. I haven't looked into it in a lot of depth. I've just kind of been having some brainstorming sessions with our Cabarrus County WIC director on what we think would be feasible, because a lot of our grocery store chains that are WIC authorized do have online ordering now, just for the general population. So we were trying to think through the logistics of that. How do you make it clear which ones are WIC authorized and which aren't? Because currently on those online systems, they don't highlight that. And who's going to do the legwork? Do you need to hire some extra person in the WIC staff to sit with the new mom who's just signing up, to have her go through and do it kind of for the first time? Because we would guess that, like the other way that it's done, once it works once or twice, chances are she's just going to repeat it, and a lot of those online systems populate it with what you had done last time. So I think those are all the kind of things that you would have to consider. And I think you'd also have to just see if it's something that would be of interest to the WIC participants, because while it seems like it would be a huge time saver for me, I'm not sure if it would be for them. And I think it would also have to, you'd have to do it probably on cell phones, which are, so many people have cell phones now, so it'd have to be easy on mobile electronics.
Stores deliver the online order, or do they just get it together?
In our local area, they get it together and you drive up and pick it up. But there's somebody at the grocery store who does the shopping for you and, collects it all. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If Danielle Berman were still here, she would probably also remind us on a slide this morning, one of the FNS-funded studies is to do this exploration into what's possible for online purchasing of WIC foods. My very limited understanding is that because of the way the rule is right now, you have to use your voucher at the point of sale. So exactly what Dr. Racine just said, they can collect everything for you, but currently the legislation is such that you wouldn't be able to have it delivered to your house. You have to go to the place. But I'm really looking forward to whatever gets funded for that exploration. Sadly, it will not be in time for us. So, Kathy.
There seemed to be quite a bit of internal conflict in the quotations, particularly about the use of time. They feel a scarcity of time, but they'll shop all over instead of planning, or in addition to planning. It just didn't make internal sense to me, but I don't live the life they did. So can you shed any light on the logic that they're using?
I can't. I mean, I don't really know what they're thinking. Although it seems like when they do focus on shopping, they go right to the sales. So they'll keep, when the newspaper comes out with the weekly sales,
yeah.
They keep those to the side. So when they do go shopping, they're looking at those, and then based on that, that's kind of how they decide where to go. I think that's what's going on. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to 6 o'clock at night and they're home and the kids are there and we need something to eat, I think they're making, a new decision. Am I going to run through Bojangles, or am I going to kind of use this food that I've gathered because I've hunted for the deals, and am I going to prepare something? I have a feeling there's something. I really think that there's a lot to this whole area of research around decision overload, kind of by the end of the day. I know that I'm like this too. In fact, as I'm doing this presentation, I'm wondering if my husband is turning on the crock pot back home. Because if he didn't, I know they're going to go for fast food tonight. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with when it comes time to make that meal, how do you feel at that moment?
Right, and if you've planned around the sales and not about what you wanted to make, then
Yes.
you're in trouble.
I think
Okay.
that's what's going on. Yes.
I'm going to turn it around and talk about the supply side just for a second. You talk about some of the stores seem to do a better job of labeling the WIC items, and also talk about consumers who sort of shop for the deals. Do you have any sense of whether the stores are using that strategically to attract the WIC customer? Is there a store that sort of made that part of maybe their competitive advantage in some way, that they're trying, I mean, they see that as a desirable market, so they're trying some strategies to try to attract it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know internally from the different companies what they're kind of doing. I know from some other work that was funded by the Becker Center by a researcher in New Mexico. One of you guys might remember his name, Colin. Was doing some work where they were working with a grocery store on the weekly flyer where they were advertising their produce. They put WIC approved way at the top and then put all the different fruits and vegetables there. And that really seemed to help increase the sales of fruits and vegetables, not just for the WIC clients, but everybody else. So, I mean, I think that's an area of missed opportunity, honestly, from the supply side, because clearly these stores are benefiting from not only WIC, but SNAP. And I don't know if they're really taking full advantage of the marketing potential. I know that with one store that we're currently, chain that we're currently working with, they'll say, well, based on our analytics, X% of our sales should be coming from SNAP, but less than that is coming. So what do we need to do to increase our market share? Because clearly we should be getting more of this population. So I think that again, kind of working more closely with the business side, and because it's in their best interest if people use their WIC vouchers, right? Mm-hmm. It's in their best interest. So I don't know if they're really recognizing that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you.